warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will discuss about experience learning English. First, Khoirul Anam, second, Rizza. Say hello, Rizza. Hello. Yes, Maki. Okay, let's start discuss first. Khoirul Anam, this time for you.
Ya, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I will share my experience when learning English, and the first is when I learning grammar. For the first time, I don't understand anything, and I always got bad scores in every test in the first semester. Uh, but with some strategies, I can get a good job. And my strategy was learning from YouTube and read some book, and but the most important point, I think, from YouTube, because there are many videos talking about grammar, and second is about listening. uh, uh, when I learned listening, I wasn't get difficult, and my strategy was listening some songs in English. And the third is when I learned reading, I always using Google Translate in the first semester, but I think it's good for me, and so I get some strategies, and my strategy is was read some article and some news from Facebook and other social media. And the fourth is reading. In this case, usually using Google to find some article, uh, and then uh, and then I copied to my uh, computer, and then my strategy is uh, looking for videos from YouTube to learn it. And then the fifth is vocabulary. When I wrote a vocabulary, I usually let it submit, and I always looking for vocabulary from songs and sometimes from social media. And my strategy is was using a table to remember every vocabulary, so I can remember it easily. And the last is pronunciation. When I learning pronunciation, I got many problem and troubles, because English and British pronunciation are very different, and my strategy is using a Google Translate to help my pronunciation, and then and also I listening some songs and watch movies in English to improve my pronunciation. And I think that's all for me. Maybe you guys have a comment or maybe a question for me.
I want to ask for you,
Yes.
why you use set.
I use it because in the first semester I uh, cannot uh, can didn't
Higher
understand.
vocabulary.
Yeah, I know. Cause I didn't understand about the material, so I think Google Translate uh, help me can help me with the vocabulary and some other materials.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Uh, yeah, there's any questions? Rizza, maybe. So far, no. Okay. The next we have Rizza. Rizza, this time for you.
Okay, thank you, Dahlia. Today I will uh, explaining about my experience to my experience of learning English and my experience in learning English. I know English when I was in elementary school, and uh, at at that time I was very difficult to learn, and when I was in junior high school, I start to understand, even though I didn't really like it because it was difficult. And but but I learned little English from playing games, because there were games which only provide English language. So I start to learning it, and uh, I became interested in English when I was in high school, because I had start to understand formulas and ways to understand English. And now I'm taking English department in college to improve my English, and sometimes I also study with my friends are good in uh, who are good at English, and we learning about grammar, speaking, reading, and listening. Okay, I think that's all from me. Any question?
Uh, I want to ask,
Yeah.
what are the game usually you use uh, for learning English?
Facebook. And lately I playing uh, Wild Rift, League of Legends. Yes.
Thank you, Rizza. Maybe any questions after Tati?
I want to ask something. Why you decide to learn English?
Uh, because I start to interesting for learn for learning English. I think apa English is uh, fun.
Okay, thank you.
Enough.
Yes.
Okay, next we have Sakti. Sakti, it's time for you.
Okay, thank you, Dahlia, for giving me time to explain about my English experience. About my English experience when I start, I started learning English when elementary school. That's I think when I was elementary school, I didn't understand what about English grammar, what about uh, that vocabulary. I can understand about English, but in junior high school, maybe my teacher is fun, so I can get English more easily uh, than in elementary school. Uh, I think my teacher can give explanation for make easily to understand and start in junior high school. I start to uh, understand about English learning and continue to uh, senior high school and I studied more about English for grammar, listening, speaking, reading, writing, and vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. And I more study English when in senior high school. That's for improve my listening. Usually, I listen music or watching film. That's usually with a subtitle or just English subtitle. And for speaking, when I senior high school, uh, I ever to uh, I have I have life in like a course in my Islamic boarding school. That's for speaking because over there the environment is good for speaking with another friend, speaking with teacher, and that's make me improve my English for speaking. And now because my environment is not good for improve my speaking for looking for partner when speaking English make my speaking is maybe low than in senior high school. For reading, usually I reading in online media uh, like Tempo English, Jakarta Post, and another. For writing, I study writing when in the university. I study writing uh, when in second semester. For pronunciation, usually my teacher give me tongue twister or watching native speaker for how to native speak English well, and that you for tongue twister you can fluent your pronunciation, making well your pronunciation. And grammar, uh, I think about grammar I get more in IC when I was first semester in university. That's I get more grammar basically in English. And I think English, the teaching English, if the teacher is fun for making learning, and let's make maybe the student being happy and comfortable for learning. And I study English. I think English is important for now because English is international language in the world. Okay, that's about my experience studying English. If there is a what's that question, you can ask me now.
I want to ask something. Uh, what is the biggest problems when you learn English?
I think that's the biggest problem is looking for partner for speaking, because we know if English not practice, our vocabulary is lost, because vocabulary must be practicing, for speaking must be practicing. And if we do not partner or our environment is not good, maybe make our English is what is that difficult to practice. Another, there is one.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
maybe from Rizza, any questions for Sati?
Okay, I want to ask, uh, what makes you memorable when you learn English?
Can you repeat your question?
Okay, uh, what you uh, what makes you memorable when learning English?
Memorable. I think for memorable, that's we can make our habit in English for our smartphone. We can change in English for we must make schedule for improve our English for listening or reading. That's input for our English. For output, we can just speaking by ourselves or in front of mirror. That's make simple for practice.
think enough for discussion today. Thank you for your time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.